Virtue for the month of June. Memo to every corporation. It's that time of year when you change your profile pictures to all colors of the rainbow for the Alphabet Mafia. Be sure to do your annual cash grab to show your virtue, but act fast. This only lasts for 30 days because on July 1st, they'll pretend it never happened at all.
I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
I am too smart. I am too smart. I am too smart. I am too smart. S-M-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-T.
Let me close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law,
still have the choice, ultimate authority over what happens to her body.
But there's a child inside her body.
Hold on.
What about meth?
Should she be allowed to do meth?
Yeah.
I think if someone is doing meth while they're pregnant, that it is completely acceptable for something like, I don't know what the name of the services in the United States.
Child services. I guess DCFS would be. Oh, it's her body, though.
Yeah, it's her body.
If she wants to do meth, what's the big deal?
The big deal is that she's intentionally trying to kill a child.
Hold on there a minute.
Yeah, and I see where we're going.
I don't understand what you're saying.
What is that? What the fuck is that? What is that?
In Massachusetts right now, those crisis pregnancy centers that are there to fool people who are looking for pregnancy termination help outnumber true abortion clinics by 3 to 1. We need to shut them down here in Massachusetts, and we need to shut them down all around the country. You should not be able to torture a pregnant person like that.
I'm sick of having my mental condition come into question.
How dare you, sir?
There was a time in America when contests of athletic prowess were a metaphor for the nobility of man. Historic moments forged by the love of the game celebrated the human potential to achieve excellence. But as time passed and the country neared the millennium, something went awry.
I'm gonna go with the charge.
Okay, tell me why.
Justin Herbert, Williams, Keenan Allen.
Okay, all right. I guess we got time for one more.
Offense.
We'll dive in deeper here. Raiders, Chargers. Who are you backing to win this one, Stephen A?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I'll just go with that.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
But if the forces of evil should rise again to cast a shadow on the heart of the city, call it.
question. How do we vote?
He gave us a signal.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Screw him. This is your time. Now go out there and take it. I got something to say.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.
Welcome to the show. You are one-on-one with West Sports Guy here on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey, and online all the time at westsportsguy.com. Make sure you bookmark that site to get all my social media links, the podcast link, everything you want to know about yours truly. It's located for you there at westthesportsguy.com. Coffee Brand Coffee. Get that discount. Use the promo code 101West. Save yourself some money of some delicious coffee, tea, and cocoa at coffeebrandcoffee.com. And before I get into the topic of this stream this week, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge what today is. It is Memorial Day here in America, honoring the fallen, those that gave their lives in service of their country. We don't just remember them for one day, we remember them every day, but it's acknowledged on one day a year, being Memorial Day, the last Monday of the month of May. But I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that and thank those that gave their lives to serve their country from beginning until present day. So I do thank you for that sacrifice that a lot of us take for granted with the rights that we have today and we're holding on to as long as we possibly can. But thank you to those that gave their lives in service of this country. So with that said, today's episode going to be going through the Major League Baseball standings. Now, a little caveat before I go further into this is that I am somewhat aware of who is in first place, how the season has been going so far. But in terms of how we got to this point, I've been relatively in the dark. Let me get my eyes on here. And when I say relatively in the dark, it's essentially, I don't know who's leading the league in batting. I don't know who's leading the league in ERA. I don't know who's dead last. My guess would be Marlins or White Sox last I was checking, or somewhat scanning the standings. But I would say it's been relatively how I expected it to some degree. And of course, if you think it's been different on your side of things, do let me know. So let's see. Let's start in the AL East. So I had the Baltimore Orioles winning this thing. I did not say they were going to run away with it, but they were definitely going to win it. And they're still relatively in it, obviously. So you see they're only 2 games back of the Yankees. So everybody that's been just kissing the absolute you-know-what out of the New York Yankees, they're getting their wish. So the Yankees are still in first place. Granted, it's only by 2 games. Yeah, the run differential, we kind of expected that with the lineup. Everybody wants to, crown this lineup as the main reason why the Yankees are back. And they're going to make some noise again. Everybody that's just all East Coast bias always wants the Yankees to be involved for anything and everything. They're getting their wish so far. I'm a bit surprised in the one part of it, though, with the Yankees, though, is they don't have Garrett Cole. How are they doing this without pitching? Granted, one guy does not make the pitching staff, but that's a pretty big name. How are they doing this without Garrett Cole? I'll look at the stats here in a little bit. But then you go a little further down in the AL East. Okay, Boston, that's a bit surprising. I had them finishing dead last. Toronto is dead last right now. Kind of didn't see that happening. Tampa Bay, I'm glad because I'm just sick and tired of seeing Tampa Bay be one and done in a wild card series. The last, 3-4 seasons now it's been. I'm glad that they're starting to falter and go back to where they need to be. because I'm just sick and tired of seeing them in the postseason. If they're just going to be one and done and the bats fall silent, it's been the story every year for them. But Toronto dead last. Boston is third. Interesting. And then we got the run differential there for Boston's in the plus category. So, okay, the offense is there. The pitching is actually a lot better now. Okay, I'll check that out. But all right, Baltimore's they're still there where I expected them to be. All right. I guess this is where things are going to get a little more interesting in the American League. So we look at the AL Central. Cleveland, they have the best record. Yeah, they have the best record in the American League. 36 wins. Granted, it's by win percentage, but they have the best win percentage in the American League, and not far behind them, the Kansas City Royals. Now, that run differential there from Kansas City, plus 79. They've won 8 of their last 10. Granted, Cleveland's won 9 of their last 10, and on a 9-game winning streak, mind you. This division, I figured was just going to be Minnesota and then everybody else. But, okay, Cleveland and Kansas City. Proving me wrong. I didn't think Cleveland was going to be terrible, but I just didn't think they were going to be like this. Neither did Kansas City. I thought Kansas City was maybe another year away with the bats, aside from Bobby Witt Jr. Yes, they still have Salvador Perez, but I did not expect the pitching to be the way it is right now. Holy moly. So that's my first big shock right there. I mean, Minnesota, okay, they're just meandering. Looks like they're in a wild card race the way the American League is right now. It's pretty lackluster for the wild card right now, but it's still relatively early. We're not quite a full 2 months in, but I figure this is a good time to start seeing who's who are contenders and pretenders. Detroit, hovering around 500. Yeah, okay. That's the one team in this division I thought was probably going to finish a bit higher than people expected. But, all right, Detroit's around 500. All right, this division is a lot more competitive than I thought. And then the White Sox, I mean, okay, 15 wins. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Granted, it's probably better than they were in the first month. I remember it took a while for them to finally get double-digit wins. But now they got 15. Okay. That is something. Now, the American League West, as you could probably tell if you haven't already, if you're brand new to this channel, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like and hit that subscribe button down below to get notified when all the latest videos are posted on this channel, whether it be YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, or Odyssey. But yeah, the Angels, I figured, okay, they should not be dead last because of Oakland, but looking at it now, Oakland is ahead of them, granted by only 1 game in the standings. But you got to be kidding me. All 5 teams in the AL West have a chance of winning this division. That's how bad this division is this year. Holy moly. All their run differentials are minus. The 2 Texas teams have been struggling mightily. I mean, Houston and Texas, they're going to make moves. These 2 are going to make moves to either take the division, which is up for grabs for all of them, or to be a wild card team. But those 2 are going to make some moves. Seattle probably will make some moves, but I don't know. That's going to be up in the air with that front office. Yes, DePoto is a very trade-happy general manager, but the moves he made last year kind of were seen more as a sell when he traded away his closer, Paul Sewald, to the Diamondbacks. Not saying he's going to make that kind of move again this year. He's got not a sizable lead, but they're winning the division. They're looks to be one of the more consistent teams in this division. But I would imagine Seattle's going to make a move to stay in contention because, hey, this is a good year to do it. But no, just because all 5 teams are within 10 games of this division, I'm not saying Oakland and the Angels are going to be contenders. No. Hell no. Not going to happen. But yeah, the Central has a lot more competition. And by that, I mean teams that are actually in the win column for the most part. And the AL West only has one that's above 500 right now. Did not expect that. The NL East with the Phillies. Now, I know the Phillies have been making some noise, but I can't say I expected them to be that far ahead of the Atlanta Braves right now. Did not expect that. 6-game lead. Yes, Atlanta's got the wild card. And yes, we also, if you don't know, Ronald Acuna fortunately tore his ACL yesterday on the base paths. Non-contact, torn ACL, done for the year. Now, I'm not saying this to make any Braves fans feel better about this, because the last time he tore his ACL, you guys did win the World Series. So maybe this helps. I'm not saying it's ideal, but it happened before. Unfortunate that he tore his ACL, but you guys did win the World Series. But you got to expect that even though Philly is as far ahead right now in the division, besides Atlanta, everybody else, they're just pulling away faster and faster, it seems, every week with that record. I mean, you've almost got 40 wins, and we're not even in June yet. You got to expect that a Dave Dombrowski front office is still going to do stuff to keep this team in win now competitive mode for the entire year. Look at his history. That's what he's always done with the front office that he's had. Multiple franchises. The Marlins in the 90s, Detroit, Boston, and now Philly. He puts teams together in win now mode, and he's doing it again in Philly. Doesn't shock me. It shouldn't shock anybody that's familiar with his front offices of the last 2-3 decades. Nationals being in third place, that doesn't shock me. The Mets are the Mets. I gotta tell you, I did not expect the Marlins to be this bad. The injuries definitely were piling up in the pitching staff. I do know that before the season started. But did not expect them to be that bad. And yeah, they did trade away Luis Arias to the Padres. I'm dubbing him the Latin Tony Gwynn, which is fitting that he goes to the Padres to continue on with the career that he's putting himself, the career path that he's putting himself on is just amazing to see. You don't see guys not strike out and not even walk. I mean, he's just constantly making contact. So that's not shocking that the Padres made that move to get him. NL Central here, we got the Brewers. Okay. That's a bit surprising. You traded away your former Cy Young winner in Corbin Burns to the Orioles. You don't have your closer right now in Devin Williams. He was hurt before the season started. I don't believe he's back yet. And they're just about in cruise control in that division. I mean, the Cubs and Cardinals and Pirates, okay. Paul Skeens making his debut with the Pirates recently. He's looking like the real deal. O'Neal Cruz for the Pirates is healthy. It goes to show you that if that guy was healthy last year, maybe the season would have been different for the Pirates. The Reds are in last place. That's a bit of a shocker. I know they've got a couple injuries that are kind of hammering them right now. But the Cardinals, all these teams, it's just like the AL West to a degree. Just a couple better teams at the top, but NL Central, that's going to be a lot of teams going at it in that division, I would imagine, down the stretch. It's going to be more interesting to see, like, if a Pirate team or a Cardinal team make a move, if they're still hovering around this area, to make a move at the deadline to go for it, go for a wild card spot, something to that effect. It's going to be interesting to watch. So not so surprising in the NL West. You, of course, got the Dodgers on top. Padres, okay, they're starting to put themselves in position to be alone in second place, although the Giants are right there with them. Diamondbacks are not that far behind. So, yeah, this is pretty much what I expected. I expected Arizona to be a little bit better than that. Colorado, not shocking. Dead last. Didn't think they would have 18 wins, but okay. It's pretty much what I expected there. So now let's gonna check out the statistics. So batting average. All right. Ohtani. That's one thing that he did not do, is hitting for average. So for both the AL and the NL, he's leading all of baseball in batting average at 336. Okay, that's something he did not do as an Angel. Well, that also goes to show you, too, with the lineup that he's got with the Dodgers, he's going to get plenty of pitches to see. Tell you what, instead of doing this, let's go by the league. So since I was already in the National League, we'll stay in the National League. Just look at the top batting averages. Luis Arias, there he is, 335. But again, only 14 strikeouts. Only walked 11 times, but the guy he's constantly making contact. It's amazing. William Contreras, that's not shocking. Catcher for the Brewers. Jurickson Profar, okay. He's having a career year right now. Alec Bohm, driven in 47 RBIs. Ozuna for the Braves. Mason Wynn, looking like a early Rookie of the Year candidate for the Cardinals. So, averages, okay. Let's see who's got the home run lead. Okay, Ozuna's got 15. Harper, there's Ohtani, Alonso, Teoscar Hernandez for the Dodgers. Okay. Yeah, there's a Rocky in there too. Christian Walker. I wish, now that I'm seeing him, Ellie De La Cruz, now that I'm seeing him with 31 stolen bases, which I know everybody's just gobsmacked by how many steals he's getting right now. I'm not. But I love how Major League Baseball, and I wish I could pull it up right now, then I'm thinking about it. But I love how their predictor, whatever they were calling it, had him finishing the season with like 47 or 48 steals. And I laughed at that because he had stolen how many bases last year? He stole 35 bases last year in less than 100 games. 35 steals in less than 100 games. So their predictors, of course, going off of the fact that assuming he plays a full season, they only had him stealing 40, it was like 47, 48, something like that, high 40s. And I laughed at that. And I'm thinking to myself, if he's healthy and plays a full season, this guy is going to steal at least 60 to 70. No way it would just be 40 something. And now it's even funnier to think about that predictor that MLB had before the season. In just 54 games, he's already stolen 31. Now, of course, the insane pace that they were having him on, it's now slowing down a bit because He's been stuck on 31 for a bit, I believe. But there's no reason to think he's not going to get the 60, 70 that I expect him to. This was before the season started. It's like, why would you predict something like that? With as many games as he played last year to get 35 with the potential that he has in a full season when he's healthy, he should be getting 60, 70 easily. So off on a little tangent there with Ellie de la Cruz. So the power bats, yeah, there's a couple surprises in here. Ketel Marte getting 10 home runs so far. There's a few, but it's still the usual suspects in the National League. Let's check out the American League. Let's go to the average first. Okay, here it is. So Salvador Perez, as I take a sip of water. So Salvador Perez, he's playing like it's 10 years ago in his prime. So he's leading the AL in batting average at 323. He's got 9 homers, 39 RBIs. The guy does not strike out much. So this is a large reason why Kansas City's where they're at. They got Salvador Perez playing like the World Series MVP he was. So there it is. Jeremy Pena's having a good year so far, 320. There's Juan Soto. Are the Yankees going to keep him with this kind of production? 310 and 44 RBIs. The guy's walking, getting on base. And there's Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt Jr., 9 homers, 36 RBIs. He's got 16 steals. So you could probably expect a 30-30 season out of him, and that's 30 home runs, 30 steals. He's probably going to get 30 doubles easily. Adley Rutschman for the Orioles here, batting an even 300. Vlad Jr. There's Altuve. Brent Rooker, probably going to be the only Oakland A All-Star. Actually, no, scratch that. He's probably going to be the second because I know they got a closer who's lights out this year, Mason Miller. Wilyer Abreu for the Red Sox. Okay. There's Anthony Volpe. Okay, he's getting a better batting average now. Kyle Tucker's got 18 home runs. All right. That's got to be tops in the American League, definitely. Yep, there it is. So we got Gunnar Henderson with 17 homers for the Orioles. Aaron Judge is there. Jose Ramirez, not shocking. Batting average is kind of low, though, for him. There's Josh Naylor. Okay, this is another reason why Cleveland's doing what they're doing. 13 home runs from him. Giancarlo Stanton is healthy. 13 home runs. That's pretty much all he's doing. Only 29 RBIs. Yeah, Oakland's getting some pop out of their catcher, Shea Langoliers, too. Oh, all right. Oh, man. Talk about, holy moly. Talk about just getting home runs. Tyler O'Neill, only 11 home runs and 17 RBIs. Holy moly. But it's helping Boston. Man, oh, man. Lots of power. Hey, there's an Angel Taylor Ward. It's the only bright spot for the batting lineup right now. Joe Adell, you got 10. Fantastic. But you're caught stealing 6 times. That's awesome. And, yep. Mike Trout, knee injury, still is one of the tops in home runs with 10. Oh, what a sad state of affairs. All right, let's go to the pitching. Let's check out the American League. So the year, okay. All right, so adding more to what's going on in Kansas City. Seth Lugo leading the entire American League in ERA. 1.71. Not really interested in how many strikeouts he has, but it's just he's damn near unhittable for the Royals. Wow. So 11 games, 8-1 with a 1.71. Okay, that's why Kansas City has the kind of record that they do. There's another one. Brady Singer, 2.63 and 11 starts. Looks to be getting hit a little bit more than Lugo, but still he's having a much better season than he did last year. So there's Tanner Houck for the Boston Red Sox. Another ERA under 2. All right. Can't get him any runs here, but Reese Olson, 1.92 in 10 starts for the Tigers. All right. This is definitely with a caveat here. Ronel Blanco threw a no-hitter his first start of the season for the Astros here, but he's been suspended for having sticky stuff. So take these stats with a little bit of caveat there, since he's currently suspended. So this is it. Yes, I know the Yankees obviously had Marcus Stroman, but look, almost every single Yankee starter has an ERA under 3. That's why. They're actually doing this without Garrett Cole. Cortez, 3.29. Rodon, 2.95. Now, that's a much better Carlos Rodon than he was last year for them. Marcus Stroman, 2.76. Clark Schmidt, 2.52. But then this guy, Lucas Gill. Or Luis, excuse me. For a split second, it looked like Lucas. 2.11. All right. I guess Garrett Cole doesn't need to come back anytime soon, does he? Wow. Tariq Skubal for the Tigers. All right. 6-1, 2.25. Tyler Anderson, 2.52. Okay. That's the lone bright spot in the pitching staff for the Angels. Color me shocked. Holy moly. Corbin Burns, not surprising there. Strikeouts are kind of low, though. And another Red Sox pitcher, 2.89, Carter Crawford. All right. That answers some questions. So Royals got some help there in the starting staff. So did the Yankees. Let's check out, see if there's some bullpen guys to highlight here. So Emmanuel Clase, he's got 17 saves, damn near unhittable. Another guy to set him up there in Cleveland. Their bullpen, yeah, that's got to be it right here. Hunter Gaddis, Scott Barlow, not as good with the ERA, but he's got some experience there in the back end of the bullpen. Hunter Gaddis, 1.78. Another Cleveland bullpen arm, Nick Sandlin. You got to love how guys, I'm highlighting Jacob Webb here, did play for the Angels. Seems to happen quite a bit when Angels give up on guys and somebody else picks them up, and look what happens. So Jacob Webb is proven to be good for Baltimore. Good job, Angels. All right. So, okay, another Kansas City guy. He was with the Red Sox at one point, John Schreiber. But he's doing good in Kansas City. So who's got the save total? Yep, Clase, Clay Holmes for the Yankees, Kimbrel for the Orioles, although that ERA is getting a little high. And this is the guy I was mentioning earlier, Mason Miller. 45 strikeouts in 23 innings. Oof. Wow. Munoz for the Mariners. Jansen. All right. Let's head on to the National League. Let's go to the ERA first. Wow. You want to talk about career year now. Ranger Suarez. He got 77 strikeouts, 1.75. You got a complete game shutout to your name this year. Okay. Another guy that the Angels dumped, Reynaldo Lopez. Good job, Angels. Granted, he wasn't a starter for them. He was out in the bullpen, but starting for the Angels or for the Braves now, excuse me. It's just, man. Gotta love it. Chris Sale. Yep. Figured that was definitely going to be a very good trade. I'm trying to think of something clever to say, and it's just escaping me right now. But Chris Sale, who would have thought he would have had a resurgence in Atlanta? 2.12, 78 strikeouts to only 9 walks and 10 starts. Wow. Yeah, Javier Assad, that's not surprising. ERA's very good. I mean, the guy is strictly a ground ball pitcher. But he's getting the outs that he needs. Jordan Hicks, first year as a full-time starter, doing it for the Giants. There's Zach Wheeler, 2.53. Sonny Gray, first year with the Cardinals. And that's definitely why the Cardinals are back to playing better baseball. They're not all the way there yet, but he's helping a lot. Logan Webb, Andrew Abbott for the Reds, although he's not getting enough run support for that record. Yeah, Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals. Going to be the future ace for them, it looks like. Holy moly. A starter for the Rockies has an ERA under 3. Is most of his starts away from Coors Field? Or is he just strictly a ground ball pitcher, it looks like, by strikeout walk ratio? Aaron Nola, Jared Jones, okay. Yeah, Tyler Glasnow, I figure he's going to be a Cy Young candidate towards the end of the year, but if Chris Sale's doing what he's doing right now for the Braves, it's probably going to be up in the air for Glasnow, but he's got the strikeout numbers, 87. That's got to be tops. Yep. And there's Dylan Cease for the Padres. Okay, 3.29. Let's check out any relievers of note. There's not a whole lot that jumps out. Yeah, not a whole lot. Helsley's leading the league in saves. Yes, he is. 17. It's a decent ERA. Robert Suarez for the Padres. They definitely don't need Josh Hader right now. Holy moly. 15 out of 15. 0.76. Finnegan for the Nationals. Raisel Iglesias. For the contract that the Angels gave him, I'm not upset that we gave up on Iglesias as quickly as we did, because that contract was not going to look good towards the end of it. David Bednar, your ERA is way too high. Same thing with Alexis Diaz. Wow. Carmelo Duvall, Trevor McGill for the Brewers is your closer. Yeah, Devin Williams is still not back yet. Evan Phillips for the Dodgers, just not getting enough opportunities for saves, but the ERA is there. All right. Well, that is a pretty good indication of where we are at in the Major League Baseball season. I got to say, the Royals and Guardians, I just did not expect those two to be as high up in the standings as they are right now. That's the biggest shocker to me. Yeah, the AL West is pretty bad, top to bottom, it looks like. But like I said, I think those Texas teams are going to make some moves. Seattle's probably going to make a move or two to stay ahead of them, if they're going to be ahead of them by the time the trade deadline comes. But it's going to be interesting to see how all this is going to play out. And I'd be willing to bet that most of what we're seeing right now is not going to be the norm as we get closer to that deadline in July, because teams are going to start falling off for the next month or two and going to show their true colors, and probably going to start selling off some assets as we get closer to the end of the year. But that's what it looks like here from the end of May, as we're getting closer to it for the first 2 months of the NFL season. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell below to get notified when all the latest videos are posted on this channel, whether they be at YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, or Odyssey. Bookmark westthesportsguide.com if you want to get all the previews, recaps, musings in the world of sports. Bookmark westthesportsguide.com. Thank you again to those that made the ultimate sacrifice for this country on Memorial Day. We're thinking of you every single day, not just on one day a year. Thanks again for tuning in. Lots more to come here on this channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell again. Thanks again for tuning in.